Hey friends, it's Nikki. And I promised last week that we were going to talk about lifelong learning, and we are. Learning is one of my favorite things. I think that we can all agree that growth is really what makes us happy. I know that it feels like the achievement of a goal is what is most important, but oftentimes it isn't the actual achievement, but the measurable progress towards your goal that's what's creating joy in your life. When you were younger, you used to learn new things every day. You had new experiences, you made new friends, you learned new things. Your parents probably asked you, "What did you learn today?" when you were on your way home from school or maybe over dinner, and your answer was nothing, which wasn't true, but it kind of felt that way at the time. But you were learning a lot, and then all of a sudden, we grew up, became adults, and we stopped learning stuff. I don't know why we decided this was a good idea. This was not a good idea. We should change that. I read recently that 15% of your knowledge is outdated annually. That's crazy. So if you're not constantly learning, you're going to be behind. And who wants to be behind? We need to continue learning, not just for the sake of our own ability to stay afloat in the world, but for our careers, for our family, for our goals, for our passions, for everything that we're trying to do. I've found that there are 5 advantages to being a lifelong learner. The first one is innovation. This one's pretty easy to understand. The more inputs that you put in your brain, the more connections it's able to make, and the more creatively you're able to think. So as you continue to learn new things, relevant or not, your brain will be able to see a bigger picture and will be able to make more innovative and creative associations. The second one is improved performance. I like to think of this like a video game. So video game designers have this nailed. When you start the game, you don't know anything. Well, you know where the buttons are, but you don't really know what they do yet. And you spend the first couple minutes figuring that out. Which one makes you jump? Which one swings a sword, right? What do the buttons do? And you are taught a skill in level 1. And then you practice that skill on some little things. And then you go up against a boss. And the boss is better at the skill than you are. But when you have mastered the skill, you beat the boss. And then you go on to level 2. You learn something else. This is exactly the same thing. In order for us to have improved performance, we learn a skill, we practice it, we go up against harder opponents, and then we can move on to the next skill. The third advantage to lifelong learning is moving past talent to mastery. Most people have heard that Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. And they think, oh, well, he must not have been good enough to play. And the story actually goes, I just learned this recently. The story actually goes, Michael Jordan was cut from his team. And he went to the coach and he said, "Coach, you got to let me play. Coach, I got to play. What can I do? You can't cut me. I'm the best person on the team." And the coach looked straight in his face and said, "You are not the best person on this team. You are the most talented person on this team, but you are not the best." And that really kind of stuck with me for a second, because Michael Jordan clearly has a talent for basketball. But how could somebody else less talented be better? They worked on it. They grew, right? They were learners of basketball. So the coach told Michael, if you come in every day before school for the next year and show me that you're willing to put in the work, not just when it's convenient, not just when you feel like it, and you're not showboating, I'll let you play the next year. And he did. Michael Jordan showed up every day. He put in the work. He grew himself. He played when it was hard. He played when he didn't want to. He learned all areas of basketball. And now he's Michael freaking Jordan, right? Who wouldn't want to be that good at basketball? That's incredible. So talent is not enough. We have to be better than just being talented. And the way to do that is to continue learning and to continue growing. The fourth advantage to lifelong learning is intuition. And a lot of people think that intuition is just a gut feeling, but it's so much more than that. When your brain is focused on doing basic things, you can't really be intuitive. You can't really solve complex problems because your entire focus, all of your will, is spent on the basics. But as we continue to learn and grow, the basics become second nature. You don't have to think about them anymore. And your brain is then enabled to solve more complex problems. Which brings us to the fifth advantage of lifelong learning, which is holistic thinking. And this one's probably my favorite. When we're looking at problems or trying to reach goals or trying to figure anything out, a lot of times we think in this little box of this is the problem. How am I going to get there? How am I going to get from here to here? The right answer is to look beyond the box and see the entire situation from multiple perspectives. When you increase your learning and you increase your growth, you develop that mastery, you develop intuition, you increase your inputs, you can now look at a situation holistically and make meaningful changes that actually deliver the right solutions and the outcomes that you're looking for. When we're looking at, I'm here, I want to be here, we often think, what do I need to do to get from here to here? The better question is, who do I need to become to get from here to here? Because the person who has this is not this person who has this. We have to become more if we want to have more. And I know that that's not easy, and I know that that's not simple, but it is necessary. And instead of wishing that it was easier, why don't you work on getting better? And the way that you can do that is to learn something. Is to always be learning, right? Always be moving and growing and developing into somebody that you want to be. Because you get to decide that. Your job can decide all sorts of things for you. Your situations can decide all sorts of things for you. But you get to decide who you become. And that is my favorite thing, is you always get to choose who you want to be. And who you want to be determines your outcome more than what you do to get there. The unofficial advantage to lifelong learning is that it's just fun. So in addition to helping you get to where you want to be, I think that you should have fun along the way. You have homework this week. Your homework is to learn something. I don't care if it's relevant or not. I don't care if it's important. I don't care if it's stupid. Learn something. Learn something every day for a week. My favorite way to do this recently is using the Blinkist app. It's book summaries. So in 15 minutes-ish, you can read the main points of a book that would take you days or weeks or maybe months to read otherwise. Strongly suggest it. Check it out. There's a free trial for a couple days. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for spending a couple minutes with me to talk about learning. I'm excited about our next topic, which will be a surprise. But in the meantime, do me a big favor, like this video, subscribe, follow me wherever you found me. I will see you next week and have an awesome one.